we've got another incredibly significant clip from the debate. Now, the thing about this debate is it became very clear, it became abundantly clear that the moderators didn't like Bernie Sanders, although he did get the most speaking time, to be fair. But when Biden and Bernie were going off, Amy Klobuchar, for some reason, jumped in, and then they wouldn't let Bernie respond again, which was dirty. But clearly the moderators did not like him, and the audience did not like him. I'm thinking either these seats were very expensive seats, and so people who were there were a bunch of rich douche nozzles, or it was just plants. Like, remember in the RNC, or the Republican debate in which Jeb and Trump were getting into heated arguments and the crowd was booing Trump, but then Trump went on to win, like, all the primaries? It seems similar to that, where there's either plants or it's really expensive seats. They don't like Bernie Sanders. And the moderators tried to pin him. Like, they did this bogus attempt at pinning him. And obviously, you guys know there's this stupid myth and narrative that he's just a white straight male and he doesn't care about race and all this other stuff. Some people even will, allege that he's racist or sexist, which is insanity. But this clip is really angering, so we're going to play it here.
Sanders, I do want to put the same question to you, Senator Sanders. What message do you think?
Answer that question, but I wanted to get back to the issue of climate change for a moment, because I do believe this is the existential issue.
Senator, with all respect, this question is about race. Can you answer the question as it was asked?
So, I'm actually going to pause this because, as you see, the way that she's doing it is basically like, it's an attempt to basically build on that narrative and to be like this gotcha type of thing. I'm like, no, can you answer the question about race, please? You white straight male, you white straight male who clearly doesn't care about race. That's what she's trying to do, and she's trying to get those points, and the audience claps at this, and it reinforces this really stupid narrative, unfortunately, when Bernie's trying to get to a serious point.
Because people of color, in fact, are going to be the people suffering most if we do not deal with climate change. And by the way, we have an obligation up here, if there are not any of our African-American brothers and sisters up here, to speak about an economy in which African-Americans are exploited, where black women die 3 times at higher rates than white women, where we have a criminal justice system which is racist and broken, disproportionately made up of African-Americans and Latinos and Native Americans who are in jail. So we need an economy that focuses on the needs of oppressed, exploited people, and that is the African-American community.
Thank you.
So what he's trying to do here is not only is he he's trying to give real solutions, but he's tying in these issues together. He's tying in climate change with race. He's combining the two together. But they want him to pander. There's all these candidates who just pander like bogus, like Obama did, and they want to just hear you say just like, black people, blah, 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 instead of giving actual solutions, tying these issues together, doing things and advocating for things that will actually help African Americans in the black community, ending the war on drugs. Most importantly, there he talks about climate change. Do you guys remember Hurricane Katrina? Do you know why Bush didn't do anything? It's because most of the people were African American. So when you're talking about climate change and race, they clearly go hand in hand, obviously, as well as literally every other issue. They all go hand in hand. If you implement Medicare for all or free college education, African American communities are going to be disproportionately impacted because they're the ones who are at disproportionate advantage right now, and so those plans help them even more. Now, same thing goes for the war on drugs, which will severely aid the African American community because, let's keep it real, the program's in place to target them, obviously. So, repealing that program will then disproportionately aid them. And so they want him to pander. Bernie's trying to give real solutions. He's trying to connect the issues for you. The moderator is disgusting. Her condescension and attempt at disrighteousness. The audience is full of a bunch of plants, probably a bunch of neoliberal shit faces, paying $10,000 for a seat there. That's probably why no one's clapping for Sanders there. But I think that, amongst Democratic voters, I don't know how this looks. I think amongst independents and even Republicans, I think that probably looks better. But it's very disappointing to see this, and I hope that people who are Democratic voters are not duped by this nonsense.